Good morning, friends. I hope you are having a good Sunday. Now, this is the time for a weekly review, and let's go and have a look at how the US markets closed. I think there was a lot of noise about, how Trump has gotten COVID, etc. But I would think that nothing significant came out by the end. So the idea basically is that the Trump factor, unless he gets on ventilator or something, should not be a big deal, and that chances are will not impact the market in a very significant manner. Now, this is how the S&P 500 closed. Again, let's have a look at the weekly chart. While the daily kind of closed below the previous session's low, but I would think that still ranging sort of situation. Weekly is still positive, although this bar is not very positive, and you have the monthly where the previous month we did not close at the lows and possibly recovered almost half the gains. Now let's come back to the other significant thing is we are on weekly as well as monthly above key moving averages, the 50-day moving average or the 20-day moving average. In fact, let me remove this 8 period average. So now it's very clear that on a weekly basis we've held key averages. Now the Nifty for the day as well as for the week has closed above its key moving averages. Now, lots of people are drawing this trend line and are showing this as a resistance. In my view, this is a place which can stop you for a while, but can it reverse the trend? That I am not too sure about. My sense is that we could consolidate a bit here, and let's go and see what happened here historically. If you go back and see, we are getting this congestion somewhere here. You can say about 11,500 to about 11,600. 600, this 100 point is a congestion. So let's mark out. So this is the area where we are stopping historically. Like, we had a congestion here. I would think that a similar action is going to happen at this current point. So this is, kind of one issue that possibly on Monday, because of this news flow that we have on, moratorium, etc., we have some sort of, gap up, and then from there you start to have a decline. So somewhere in this area, so you gap up here, and then you start to consolidate in this 11 600 450 type of zone. So if you get this kind of gap up, that is the first thing you do, that you can take short positions in this area, because I don't think we can go higher without stopping here. So A, you gap up and you take short positions here. B, you wait for the decline, and somewhere around this zone, which is the lower end of this consolidation, the lower end is about 11,465 thereabouts. So what we are looking to do is that if we gap up above this trend line and we come back towards this, that would be a buy zone. To understand what I am trying to say, you have this large gap up, and from there you have an intraday or a couple of days worth of decline. But the overall trend is higher. So for people who want to remain with the trend, they wait for this decline and then take it up from here. Okay. Similarly, Bank Nifty, again, you have this kind of congestion here. Okay. And the upper end of this congestion is about 22 700 800. So again, it is possible that the Bank Nifty gaps up 5 600 points, and from there has a profit booking and comes down towards this 22 200 type of zone. Okay. So very similar uh, view on Bank Nifty, that you first have a gap up and then you are trying to buy the decline near the lower end of this congestion. So there are two trades which could happen on Bank Nifty for Monday. Has Bank Nifty bottomed out? I think the Bank Nifty has larger problems than this interest moratorium. The Bank Nifty basically it has held this 21,000 zone and it will hold the 23,000 zone. I don't think we are likely to go beyond this. So this is the sort of view you have to take. But next week could be positive for the Bank Nifty. That appears to be the case that there could be some more upside towards 23,000. Now, whether that happens with a gap or slowly, that time will tell. But I don't think that we have a big negative week on the card for the banks. Okay, if you see the weekly chart on Bank Nifty, again positive week, some sort of turnaround has happened. Monthly still negative, but this monthly chart will not let the Bank Nifty go up in a very strong manner. Okay, now let's have a look at our heavyweight charts. ITC, I don't think it's going anywhere. People are saying that it's bottoming out, etc. But it is one of those stocks which is not going to move in any sort of sharp manner. Bharti Airtel, again, not a very strong stock. Kotak, we could have a trading rally. We could have a trading rally up to this point here. Okay. So these are all trading buys. Hindustan Lever, maybe it's made some sort of a bottom. It looks like an underperformer, so could have a rally, maybe back towards this 2160 sort of zone. Will gather steam only above, these two averages. But nothing significant here. ICICI Bank is getting above the averages again, like Kotak. We could get rallies up to this point. This is about 400. HDFC, again trading rally possible up to this area here. So up to 1800, you can have a trading rally. TCS looks like a very, very positive chart. So on declines, TCS is a buy. Infosys again, very positive chart. So TCS and Infosys remain buys. HDFC Bank is also looking good. So what you have to look for is this kind of trend line. If we start to cross this, you could get some more upside here. But compared to TCS Infosys, I would prefer those stocks rather than this HDFC Bank. Reliance very sideways. I don't think Reliance is going to do a whole lot. So very sideways type of stock. Now let's have a look at the pivots. Generally speaking, for large levels, I am interested in looking at weekly pivots. So here on the Nifty, your R1 is about 11,528. Similarly, on monthly, your R1 is about 11,645. So 11,645 R1 on monthly, 11,640 is R2 on monthly. So this could be a very strong figure because on 2 time frames, this is coming out as an important resistance. On the support side, I think the support zone on the Nifty is 11,220 to 11,320. So that would be relevant for me in terms of a weekly support resistance. Here something very interesting is there that the daily and the weekly pivot is at 22,000 crores. So 22,000 is your line in the sand. As long as you remain above 22,000, you are positive. So this is your support zone. On resistance, you have 22,700 as R2 on daily. You have 22,650 as R1 on daily. So both these levels are very relevant. So as a trade plan, if you get above this 11,530 zone on the Nifty, any rejection of this level should be used as an intraday sell. Okay, and on the daily, 11,528 is R3 on daily and R1 on weekly. So this figure looks very relevant. In case for some reason it is crossed and sustained and the market goes up further towards 11,640, even there you could have some kind of a resistance zone. So somewhere near this 11,528 and 11,640 in this zone, because resistance is a zone, you have to look for price rejection. But overall, like I explained on the chart, what you are supposed to be looking for is the market to be trading in this kind of a band, the lower end of which is 11,460 and upper end is about 11,620, 630. So what happens is you go to the upper end of this range, fail, and then you move sideways here, and that sort of range is maintained. So from all kinds of perspectives, we have seen where we need to buy and where we need to sell. Okay. Often the market tends to develop ranges which are similar to what has happened in the past, like we saw here. So very clear, the high of this is 11,580. The high here is 11,617. Somewhere in this 580 type of zone, again, the high is 566. So 566, 580, and you would recall from the last, trading action over the last few weeks that 580 was a strong zone. So somewhere near 580, if you get, that will lead to a, intraday decline. And on the downside, you want these levels 11,450. Again, here you got 11,400. The low of this was 11,447. So somewhere in this 11,400, 450 type of zone, you could get dips towards these levels should be used to buy. So 11,430 is a kind of zone which you should be using to buy. I am assuming that because of the gap up, you will not get the opportunity to buy here. So if you are starting from a gap up situation, then the issue is you wait for that, you know, gap up to start to fail. So the first trade may be on the short side, but your place to buy should also be clear. It is here around this 430 zone so that we get a very similar congestion around these levels. So again, we have a congestion to look for on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty also you have this congestion. $22,000 to 22,700 odd. So that should be it for right now. Take care, trade well, and please consult your financial advisor.